apparently it's more or less over.
Absolutely, he will claim his 8th world title if he does win this event.
But having said that, he from Trestles through France, and he missed his round 1 heat here, kind of cruised through his round 2 heat against 16-year-old wildcard Cory Armbidi. But all the boys, they've shown that you can put a chink in Kelly's armor. He did go down in the semifinals in France and looked very beatable in some of the earlier rounds as well. So it's not over till it's over. And this one is off and surfing between 2 O'Neill team riders, Cory Lopez in red, Roy Powers out of Kauai, Hawaii in yellow, and a really fast, speedy 360 slide attempt to start things off.
It almost looked like a little ollie, looked like he was trying to ollie a chop hop 360 into the closeout there. It was probably just getting his feet, going and getting the rhythm going in this heat here.
Definitely, I don't think Cory paddled out for a warm-up surf this morning, so.
And Roy Powers is in this heat, and he's made a kind of a late charge here, making the quarterfinals down in Hosgore last week.
Yeah, Roy, a very unlucky surfer in his rookie season, currently sitting 37th in the world. Started off with a 17, then 4 equal 33rds in a row, 2 more equal 17ths, and then, as you say, Dino, a quarterfinal finish in Hosgore, so hopefully he will pick up some momentum. I know all the boys in Kauai are rooting Roy on and hoping that he'll make it through, requalify for the 2007 CT Tour. So we'll see how his form is. Currently 37th in the world, coming up against, once again, O'Neill teammate, 23rd in the world out of Florida, Cory Lopez.
Yeah, I think Cory's another one of those surfers on the bubble. I think before his 9th place finish in the last event, I think he was number 27 in the ratings.
Yeah, he was in that last qualification spot, which is now held down by Chris Ward. And so that good result in France, moving Cory into 23rd position. That was his equaled his best result of the year. Got an equal 9th in Fiji, and then an equal 9th in France to go with a string of 33s and 17s. So important heat for both these surfers, but the pressure is definitely on Roy Powers as we see Cory Lopez up and riding, Dino.
Well, there you go. Nice little snap off the top for the young Floridian Cory Lopez. And zipping down the line, another nice snap, and a big bang closeout for Cory to finish that wave, Dave.
Well, I think Cory will be happy with that one. Got 2 vertical maneuvers. Hopefully we'll get the replay up on screen for you as soon as possible. But 2 vertical maneuvers straight from the get-go. Another little speed snap. And then down the line into that last re-entry. So some big moves from Cory. We'll see what the judges thought of that.
Great shot there of a beautiful town of Mundaka.
You can see the harbor entrance just on the left-hand side. All the old Basque-style houses and a few newer apartment buildings. The lovely church just to the left, the upper left corner of your screen. And the thousands of fans down here in the Basque Country already lining the cliffs. They're already out at 7:30 yesterday morning in the rain. Here's, once again, Cory Lopez.
Nice couple snaps off the top. Another little bump, and then here, and a nice snap again. Not really, just kind of, quick snaps, not really using much of a rail, and then right there just bangs the closeout. Never really wrapping his turns, more or less just kind of placing them and snapping them down.
Well, he
not really carving through them.
Now he wants to keep that down the line speed, I think, is more important right now, especially in these kind of medium-sized conditions, because as we've seen on a lot of the waves this morning, the kind of wave bending away and running away from the guys, so it's really important to keep your speed up, as we saw for like Mickey Picon, his last wave. That's definitely speed came into play. That's what helped him take out Freddie Patachia.
That last wave was a heartbreaker for Fred there.
8.67. Oh, Fred was absolutely gutted, but Mickey did keep his speed up. Really pumped through the beginning of that one. Big floater re-entry. Nice quick tube, and then another big floater re-entry to finish it off. So the judges were impressed, and speed definitely coming into play this morning here in Mundaka, or actually this early afternoon, 12:45 p.m. Local time. We are 45 minutes into the incoming tide, so we should be seeing a little bit of, hopefully, push in the swell And some longer waves, hopefully connecting all the way from the outside through the inside. Once again, in the water, Roy Powers and Cory Lopez. Roy in yellow, Cory in red, and an 8.0 on that last one, Dino.
Wow, that was a big score.
So
definitely putting Roy in a tight position here in the early going of the heat. Oh, nice snap off the top for the young Hawaiian Roy Powers. Nice little floater, looking to get to the open face. Another nice snap. Another nice snap. Wow, Roy putting together a nice string of maneuvers on there on that wave, Dave.
Possibly the best wave we've seen by a regular foot surfer out there this morning. But it is going to get a little bit easier for the regular footers on their backhand as we get a little bit more water on the bank. Things aren't going to be quite as fast, and a few fewer closeout sections.
It seems like Roy is getting a little bit more comfortable in the man-on-man heats here in the last few events. I think it's hard your rookie season to start out and get the hang of it. You're coming from the QS, and then graduating onto the CT, and for some reason it seems like guys get their rhythm later on in the first year.
Well, let's check this wave out of Roy and see how in rhythm our WCT rookie is. That was a big first turn, especially on his backhand. Got completely vertical.
Throwing lots of spray out the back there, Dave, on that first turn.
With a little bit of help from the offshore winds here. And a kind of speed snap, then up into a floater over that section. And fairly vertical. Definitely trying to keep it in the pocket because that's what's scoring today.
Nice redirection on those turns.
Yeah, actually changing direction. The judges will be looking for that because they've seen everyone speeding down the line. That one was good for a 6-0, and here's Cory Lopez.
Oh, big old floater airdrop for Cory Lopez there as he's pumping down the line.
Talk about
Another
down the
nice
line
floater.
speed. Yeah, the judges are going to like this one.
Another
for
floater.
Sure.
Looks like he's trying to get around that section there.
And Roy out the back right behind him, trying to just sneak into that pocket. Pig dog his way into a nice little pit. Couldn't make it out, though. So Roy looking for the cover-up, and Cory just turning on the afterburners straight out of the gates on that one. Of course, we're going to bring that replay back to you.
Well, it looks like Roy Powers was rewarded a 6.0 on that first wave he had.
So what are they going to give Cory on this one?
Well,
speed, power, flow. Here it is once again, this replay of the last wave of Florida's Cory Lopez. Just almost looks like he gets air pumping into the first turn.
Nice little tail dropper floater there for Cory Lopez as he's projecting down the line. Another little snap off the top as he keeps his momentum pointing down the line to make sure he gets into this next section. And here you can tell he's I haven't seen an event that the floater has been such a major maneuver for quite some time, Dave.
Well, it really is here. I mean, what it is, I think in a lot of events, the floater's not the most functional of maneuvers, but here in Mundaka, it's so fast, and it's really all about positioning, and the floater can be a very critical maneuver here, as we saw yesterday. Peterson Hosta taking out his round 1 heat, moving straight into round 3, strictly on his floater and the surfing. So that one good for an 8.0, do you know?
Yeah, that's a huge...
Two excellent wave scores to start it off for Cory Lopez. And here's Roy Powers right behind Cory Lopez. Just really hunting the tube on this one. He saw his Hawaiian brothers, Bruce Irons and Pancho Sullivan, throwing down some big scores with backhand tube riding. So Roy maybe taking a page out of their playbook, but just didn't quite do it for him on that one, a 1.5.
Really good tube style there Roy Powers had on that wave. He really was positioned himself perfect in the barrel on that. Unfortunately for him, the wave closed out, but wow, he had perfect technique as he was stalling for that barrel.
Well, and you pretty much have to because it's, just overhead Mundaka. It's actually easier to surf this wave when it's bigger because there's really more room to move, and it's not quite as technical a feat to pull into the tube on your backhand. But Roy really showing that if he does get the opportunity, he can be very dangerous in the barrel here in Mundaka on his backside. But currently a 6-0 for his first wave, and Cory Lopez, our goofy footer, throwing down 2 8-point rides to put himself into the lead with 20 minutes remaining in this one. Second yellow, Roy Powers needs a 10.0.
Mr. Travis Logie, well done there, sir.
Yeah, thanks. The waves are really tough. Such hard waves to surf. You actually got to really surf within yourself. You can't push it too hard, so otherwise you fall because there's so many bumps on the wave. But it's improving drastically. I think in the next couple of years it should start bumping almost.
Well, when you're talking about the conditions out there, it's almost devil wind-esque in terms of getting blown out on that, using a South African term, that is.
Yeah, there's a definite devil wind going on there, especially the more you go down the point, it just gets bumpier and bumpier. So, so normally I just go out there and try to surf as hard as possible, and I would have probably fallen on every wave if I'd done that. So I think I surfed a pretty smart heat. I'm pretty stoked with my tactics.
So wait a minute, you're telling us that you didn't surf like a spaz?
No, that's what I normally do. I'm normally a useless spaz, so it can't be one of those if you're getting through heats.
Now, we're entering into the business end of this thing now. You just, you're out of 33rds, so you got to just kind of, okay, come on, let's build up and get 10 feet out here.
Yeah, it would be mental to have 10-foot waves out here, or even 4-foot waves, but I don't know if that's coming again. I think yesterday's as good as it's going to get, so, but you never know. Mother Nature's strange, so it would be nice if for the next couple of rounds we got some pumping waves.
Bro, come on, get some optimism on your side. Now, real quick, you travel so much with David Weir and Greg Emsley. 2 housemates, 2 tour buddies of yours had to face each other this morning.
Yeah, I know. They had the rock, paper, scissors last night to see who'd get the first wave, and Dave won the first wave, and it absolutely ruined him because he sat there waiting for a set wave, and Greg knew he didn't have first wave anyway, so he caught all the small ones, and that's what got him through. So it's a shame for Dave. It was pretty funny heat. I don't think a set came through until the last 20 seconds.
Well, the good news is you got an 8.5 and a 6.67 in yours. That's good enough to get yourself into the next round and guarantee yourself at worst. And I'm going to bet you're doing better, but at worst you're getting a 17.
Yeah, you don't really think like a GT, but thanks for your confidence, Spirit. Thanks.
I'm betting better. My money's on Travis. What do you want me to do? Okay, Trav, thanks so much, and we'll head back up to the regular tower rather than the rock garden here in Mundaka.
Thanks for that, GT, and congratulations to Travis Logie out of South Africa, winner of that last heat. And you can definitely hear the devil wind when GT does his interviews down there. For anyone who's wondering if it's offshore or not, it certainly is. And here's Roy Powers, Dino.
Oh, look at this wave he's got. Definitely conditions improving here as the tide comes in. Nice big bang floater off the top, but not able to get around that section there. It's unfortunate for Roy. He's in a nearly a combination situation with there's plenty of time left, 17 minutes remaining in this heat, but Cory Lopez definitely has a commanding lead over the youngster from Hawaii, Roy Powers.
Yeah, Roy's looking for a 10.0, 2.0 on that last one, so Cory out the back with priority, which means he has his choice of any wave he wants when the next set rolls into the arena here at the river mouth of the Urdabai River, the Mundaka estuary. Roy's sitting on the inside. Maybe Roy can sneak one of these swing sets if it does come through, but right now pretty much Cory Lopez in a rather commanding position and situation here right now. Plenty of people stoked out for Cory right now. Andy Ryan writing in, going, go on, Cory. Represent the west coast of the east coast. That's classic Cory from the Gulf Coast of Florida. What else we got on going out there? Some people want to know if we know when the contest will finish. Well, that depends on the weather and wave conditions here in Mundaka. If we're lucky, we will finish round 2 today and move through into the first couple of heats of round 3, but that is if we are lucky. Once again, we ran 15 heats yesterday, which is the second most heats they've ever managed to run in a day here at the Billabong Pro Mundaka. The record went down a few years ago. They ran 20 heats in one day, but you need a very small tidal coefficient or tidal swing and very big swell to be able to surf throughout the entire day, and that's not the case here today. We got a dropping swell, huge tidal swings, so we'll get as much done as we can, hopefully to the end of this round 2 and very possibly into the first few heats of round 3.
Nonetheless, a beautiful day here at Mundaka. Sun's out, crowds here. Everything is going on. The waves are contestable, and guys are posting high scores. As you can see, Cory Lopez in this heat with 2 8-point rides. Definitely putting a stranglehold on Roy Powers here with 14 minutes remaining. Roy's going to definitely have to pull something out of the hat here. He needs a 10.0 to overtake the lead from Cory Lopez in red.
Well, which basically means he's probably going to need a combination of 2 wave scores to fight back against Cory. But Cory definitely, well, we're not even halfway through the heat. 14.5 minutes remaining, so still anything could happen for Roy. And one of the most in-form surfers on his backhand so far today. Conditions should be getting a little bit better for our regular footers as the tide does come up. Roy's having a look at some of these insiders, but a little lull in the action. As we saw yesterday, we get a 5-10 minute breaks, and then we get about 20 minutes of nonstop sets. As you can see, the sun is out, as well as the local ladies, Dino.
It's an amazing sight to see, the crowd here, how they participate in an event.
Well, yesterday there was already about 50 people out on the point in the pouring rain at 8 in the morning, already watching the warm-up surf.
So have you seen a big increase of spectatorship in Europe here with surfing?
Oh, for
since you've been
sure.
here?
For sure. I mean, it used to be, as was the case in the States, that they'd run the contest in the middle of August, so they'd get plenty of tourists on the beach. But now we see, actually, now that the CT has become the Dream Tour, and the contests are run in the better wave and weather windows, more and more actually pure surf fans coming down to check it out. So now on the beaches of Hossiger in the middle of September, there used to be no one, and there's thousands of people on the beach to watch the Quickie Pro France final, or actually the entire contest period. And every day in Mundaka, it's just a raging party out the back here behind our event site, isn't it, Dino? With thousands of people. You can see them right there lining the cliff to watch surfing like this from Cory Lopez.
Look at Cory's wave he's picked off. It's a beauty of a wave as he just snaps down the line, just racing, just bouncing his board and getting tons of speed, and
unreal reverse re-entry there after that tail drop or kind of rock and roll floater from Cory Lopez. So
looking really confident, the youngster from Florida, blowing his tail into a reversal there to finish off that wave.
Well, Cory's already got 2 8-point rides in his scoreline, and he's just going, you know what, I kind of want to nail the nail in the coffin right now and just make the last 10 minutes of this one count for nothing. And Roy's kind of out there scratching his head, just going, what do I have to do to get a result? And poor Roy, I mean, he had a huge one, knocked out Andy Irons in round 2 in Jeffreys Bay, and then finished off with then he went and lost out in round 3. He's definitely got the talent to beat the world's best. But, okay, let's have a look at this replay from Cory Lopez. Dino, walk us through it.
Nice little snap off the top, and you can see his board as he's rocking it down the line, almost catching air. Real upright style, like his upper body real straight. Nice little floater, rock and roll floater there. And you can see his fins release as he releases off the top of that wave into the bottom. Another little snap there as Cory's projecting down the line, and it's interesting how his board like catches air as he's going down the line. You see that, Dave?
Unbelievable. It's almost like he's doing little ollies, just get more and more speed. He gets 2 fins out on every little pump there, and how is that just reverse re-entry at the end?
That was crazy. His back foot was on the very tail of his board. You could see it just push the tail over the back of that lip, and as he reversed around to finish that wave, that was a great surfing from Cory Lopez.
It'll be interesting to see what the judges think of that one, too, because he had definite speed, plenty of technique, critical surfing, critical maneuvers in the most critical section of the wave, just staying right in the pocket or up on the lip all the way across that one and finishing it off with the innovative and progressive maneuver, the frontside reverse re-entry, and good enough for an 8.33. So Cory has now extended his lead, and in second, the Kauai kid, Roy Powers, in the yellow singlet, needing a combination of 16.34. So Roy is definitely in trouble in this one. 10 minutes remaining. He can still pull it out, but he now has lots of work to do, Dino.
Well, it must be difficult for the guys at O'Neill trying to figure out who to root for. Two guys on the same team, pretty close friends, and
only
I'm sure
one can go through, unfortunately.
I'm sure all the boys are back home watching, wondering, gosh.
It's a toss-up in Santa Cruz. They've just got the quarters out. Heads or tails? Heads for Roy, tails for Cory. And right now it is Mr. Tails, Cory Lopez in red, really with a commanding lead on this one. And while we do have another little break in the action, it looks like we can go back to your emails. We know that we have maybe neglected you guys a little bit out there, Chris. Now we're answering your message. But there's plenty of action in the water, and although the emails are an integral part of these webcasts, even more important is what's happening in the lineup. So we have to wait for little breaks like this one. Do you see anything nice in there? Anyone giving us some shouts out or any interesting questions? Dazzle wants to know what pig dogging is. Why don't you explain the pig dog? No, you don't want to explain what a pig dog is? It's a backside tube ride. It's when those guys get down in their crouch, grab the outside rail of their board with their backhand to facilitate the trajectory through backside tube rides. That's pig dog for you.
Looks like you could have a rider up here.
Back to the action. Roy Powers pig dogging his way through that first barrel section, Dino.
Oh.
Thanks for that, Roy.
Looks like he's looking for something there to hopefully close the gap between him and Cory Lopez. Oh.
And the backside reverse reentry. He didn't quite ride out of that one, so don't know if the judges are going to score it. Not the cleanest entry or exit into that first backside barrel section there, but
looked like Roy was trying to force that tube, knowing that hopefully he can get tube. Looks like Cory out the back, Matt.
Yep. Cory, there, nice carve, snap back into the pocket on that one. Great water angle. Once again, here's the frontal angle on that one. Now there's full direction change from Cory on that last turn, Dino.
Yeah, he wrapped those first two carves all the way around into the pocket.
And a roundhouse cut back at Mundaka. What do you think the judges are going to think of that one?
Yeah, definitely looking really loose on those first two top turns, Dave. I mean, he just snapped and wrapped all the way around. It'd be interesting to see the replay on that, but definitely full rail committed turns on the open face for Cory Lopez on that wave.
Oh, surfing to the criteria. I mean, he's got his speed, power. Here's Roy's wave. Let's have a look at this first little
looks like he's trying to force this tube. The wave's not really that hollow, but maybe trying to force it a little bit too much, getting kind of stuck behind in the whitewater there. And here he's in. By trying to force it, he was just kind of stuck behind that whole wave, Dave.
Yeah, no, exactly. That was kind of, he should have released a little bit earlier, and then he knew he had to do something big on that closeout section. Backside reverse reentry, but just not quite riding out of the foam ball there. So, yeah, only a 2.67. So they basically gave him a few points for that backside tube attempt, but that last backside reverse reentry not really counting for much at all.
Yeah, I think Roy's probably wondering why he went on that wave when Cory has another opportunity like he had on that last one. Roy had priority and decided to go on his wave, and then behind it, there's another perfect one for Cory.
And here it is right now. We'll have a look at this one as the judges finish deciding what kind of score to give it. Doesn't look like it's going to go into his top two scoring waves, but
I really like the way he approached this wave, Dave. As you can see, he hits the open face here and actually full rail carve into a snap there.
Back into the pocket. We don't see the 180-degree direction change very often out here at Mundaka.
And another one. And that one he even rocked the tail.
270-degree direction change, and again.
Wow, that was a great surfing as he is pumping down the line looking for a closer maneuver here. But you got to think those three turns were spectacular. This one does a full rail carve roundhouse all the way back into the lip to rebound the finishing move on that closeout reentry there after the roundhouse.
Well, some pretty spectacular surfing from Cory. Good for 7.4. Doesn't go into his score line, but hey, if he keeps it up like that, Cory could go very far in this event, especially if the swell picks up a little bit more. We're supposed to get another bump in the swell possibly for tomorrow or Tuesday, and things are supposed to drop off through the middle of the week and hopefully a bit more bump towards the end of the waiting period. But as far as days remaining in the waiting period go, we are getting down to the business end of the event, even if we are still only in round 2.
Well, it looks like with just under 5 minutes remaining, Cory Lopez putting a squeeze on Roy Powers and keeping him in that combination situation.
I don't think Roy's going to be able to dig himself out of this one. There's 4 minutes remaining. No jet ski assist today, so after any of the waves that they do get, it's all about paddling back out. And Roy technically could maybe have time for 2 more waves here, but
well, this next heat going to enter the water is Trent Monroe versus Marcelo Nunez, another frontside backside duel, and
a super important heat for both surfers because both of them are well below the qualification cutoff line as we see Cory Lopez paddling into another one here. Quick in and out there for Cory. So Roy out the back with priority. 4 minutes remaining. It's going to be tight. Having said that, Cory paddling into a little insider here. What's he got for us?
Like Cory's pumping down the line. You might see a big air there. Oh,
sick.
Giant air.
Inside 360. No grab. Ollie 360 sick. And here's Roy right behind him. See what Roy can do. Can he bring himself back into the game for the last 2 minutes out here? And that's not the way to do it, unfortunately, for Roy Powers.
Big old 360 aerial attempt by Cory Lopez there. He looked like he almost had it. He landed on the back of the lip.
That was sick. Too bad he didn't pull that one down at Bacchio for the Foster's Expression session. He would have taken home the $2,000 cash.
He had one. He landed it and just fell
off the
at
back.
the end of it.
Here's Roy again, but this is more just for the fun of surfing Mundaka with only one other guy out in the lineup because 3 minutes remaining, and it's pretty much history for Roy now. Once again, no jet ski assist today. We did have it yesterday because the conditions were so large, but super easy paddle back out the back today. So here's Cory's punt. Look at the replay on this one. Full, just perfect ollie. Got the full rotation, landed it.
Didn't even grab.
On the roof, no grab at all. Just full ollie 360, skate style. And some of you people have been writing in saying, yeah, looks like Cory's skating a perfect little pool out there. And that's pretty much what it's been all about today from Cory Lopez. So 2.5 minutes remaining, but both these surfers kind of on their way in.
Yeah, as we wind down heat number 12, heat number 13, just about ready to hit the water. And like you were saying earlier, it's a pretty crucial heat for both surfers. Marcelo Nunez, a young Brazilian goofy footer, and going head-to-head against Trent Monroe. And Trent missing half of his first round heat. I think he overslept.
Yeah, he was actually staying in Bacchio, and kind of the same thing as same thinking as Kelly Slater. They both woke up in the morning and just looked at the conditions and said, "There's no way there's going to be surf out there today." And a little surprised to get a phone call from some of his buddies on the O'Neill team, going, "Hey, dude, your heat's in the water, man. You better get down here." Luckily, Bacchio's not that far away, only about 10 minutes, but. Yeah, Trent only showing up halfway through his round 1 heat. Trent's sitting at 30th in the ratings right now, and Marcelo Nunez 33rd. So both those guys can climb up possibly back into a qualifying position in the top 27 with a good result here. So a very important heat for both these surfers, Australia's Trent Monroe and Brazil's Marcelo Nunez. That one, they'll be out in the water while they're paddling out already, and their heat will be starting in just over 1 minute. As looks like Cory and Roy have already made their way in from that last heat, so which means we have about a minute to take a look at some of your emails. Thank you very much, Ryan, for all your support down there from either Australia, New Zealand, or possibly over in Great Britain. Thanks for writing in. Bolts wants to know what the local time here is. It is 1:10 in the afternoon. And about an hour into the incoming tide, so hopefully conditions should be. We thought Cory was out of the lineup. There's his little victory lap for Lopi.
Well, great wave selection for Cory Lopez in that heat. just picking off every wave that had any potential. There was really only about 3 or 4 waves that had any scoring potential, and Cory was on every one of them. So, once again, the veteran coming through that heat.
Yep, showing his the experience from his years on tour in that one, Cory. And, yeah, perfect wave choice. And really, I mean, head-high Mundaka, long, racy left-hand walls. That's really what Cory's looking for.
Well, to all you spectators